Hey there, this is LaQuita with QuitabugHandmades.com, and thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited to announce the first feature of Club Quitabug for the month of May, which is the Share What You Love suite. I absolutely love this suite. There are two stamp sets that this suite focuses around. The main one that I'm going to be showcasing is the Love What You Do stamp set. If you saw my video that I did on May the 1st, I actually shared all three exclusive bundles in the Share What You Love suite, but this is one of the stamp sets. Absolutely gorgeous stamp set. I love the sentiments. I love the fonts for the sentiments, some really great images. And then there's also the Make a Difference stamp set. So this one is Love What You Do. And then there's also the Make a Difference stamp set. This one's really cool. This is in the third bundle, which is the Gotta Have It All bundle. But this stamp set's really cool because you can build custom sentiments. These letters are really easy to put together to create your own sentiments, and you've also got a few different sizes in here, and then you've got numbers, and then you've got some back of the card sentiments so that you can personalize the back of your cards or your projects that you create. So two really great stamp sets, but this is going to be the main one that I focus on for both features of Club Quitabug for the month of May. So both of my free card kits will be surrounded around the Share What You Love suite and showcasing those products. So let's go ahead and get started. Take a look at the first free card kit for the month of May, and I'll give you all the details about Club Quitabug as we go. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into this first free project kit. So I'm using the Love What You Do stamp set to complete all of the projects in this kit. And here are my ink pad colors that I'm using to complete the three projects. Mint Macaron, which is a returning in color. So this one is back in our color collection beginning June 1st, 2018. So good thing I saved this ink pad. So I've got this color, Rich Razzleberry, Tranquil Tide, and Grapefruit Grove. And Grapefruit Grove is one of our new in colors. And this one is available in any of the three Share What You Love bundles currently available during the month of May. This is one of the this is the color that you get in those bundles. So if you don't have Mint Macaron, don't worry, this color will be available beginning June 1st, 2018. It will be back in our collection. You could always substitute it for another color, or you could wait until June the 1st and get this color and then complete your projects. It's totally up to you. And all you have to do to receive your free project kit in the mail from me is place a minimum $35 order in my online Stampin' Up! Store. That's $35 before tax and shipping. Make sure that you use the hostess code that I've got right here on the screen. Just don't use that code if your order is $150 or greater. If your order is $150 or greater, you actually earn Stampin' Rewards, and I don't want you to lose those Stampin' Rewards. So make sure you do not use the hostess code if your order is $150 or greater. You will still qualify for the kit, so don't worry about that. And remember that this first free project kit is only available for orders placed from May the 1st, 2018 through May 15th, 2018. So get your order in within that window of time to receive this free project kit in the mail from me. You can find more details about shipping dates for this free project kit over on today's blog post, and I've linked to that post just below the video in the description notes. So let's take a look at the three projects included in the kit. So this is the first project. I love this card, and this card actually came from one of the cards we were able to create at Stampin' Up's On-Stage event this past April. So that's where I got the card design from, and I absolutely love it. Such a pretty card, and this suite is just gorgeous. It is just gorgeous. So that's card number one. Here is the second card. Love this card. This is my version of a card from the upcoming catalog, which goes live on June the 1st, and I love it. And here is the third project in the kit, this gorgeous bag. I love this bag. I had to bring in something 3D, and I just love how this turned out. I think it's so pretty, and I used some of the pearlized designer paper in the suite. Absolutely gorgeous. And it's actually a really nice size bag. I added some of our, I think it's called Ready Shreddy, to the top of the bag just to finish it off. So this isn't included in the kit, but I added this on top just to finish it off. But inside, let me show you what I have. I actually have two of our redesigned ink pads inside. So you can fit two. You can actually squeeze a third one in there. It is a tight fit, but you can do it. So I got that in there, and then I just put the Shreddy on top to finish it off, and this is a perfect little gift bag. So it's a really good size. You can fit quite a bit inside of this little bag. So here are the 3 projects in this first free project kit. I absolutely love them. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how to assemble all 3 projects. And in your project kit, I've actually got everything nicely organized for you. Remember that nothing comes pre-stamped for you, so you will need the ink pads and the stamp set if you want to remake these projects exactly as I have. But I've got everything nicely organized for you, just like so. And then there are envelopes included for your 2 cards. And then you've also got a full color PDF here at the back that has a picture of the completed projects, as well as all of the measurements and all of the supplies that I used to create each project. Okay, so I've got all of my pieces here, and I'm going to start with the mint macaron card base here. We're going to do some stamping on this piece, and we're actually going to do some tone on tone. So I've got my mint macaron ink pad, and then I've got mint macaron cardstock here. And I'm going to be stamping these 3 flower images from the Love What You Do stamp set. We're just going to do a little bit of a background here. Okay, I'll go ahead and start with this image first. So I'll just ink this up and stamp one of these here. Okay, stamp another one here, and I'm kind of stretching these out a bit far because I want them to be seen behind the cardstock layers or the designer paper layers once we get those on. Okay, then we'll do another one. Down here, throw one more right there. Let's see, do another one of these. And then I'll put a couple of this little leaf image. Right, so my background is created. I think that looks nice. So I'll go ahead and set my card base to the side. I'm going to bring in this piece of Whisper White cardstock. Then I've got my Tranquil Tide ink pad. And I'm going to bring in that I'm lucky to have a friend like you sentiment. Ink that up and my Tranquil Tide. And I'll just stamp that right in the center here of my piece of Whisper White. Right about there. All right, so that's actually all of the stamping that we're gonna do. Now for this piece, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring in my 1/2 inch circle punch, and I wanna give the corners of this layer sort of a ticket look. So I'm just gonna center up the corner in this circle punch and just punch it out. And then you've got that ticket look to your corners. Just do that on all 4 of these. Okay, so isn't that a fun look? Fun way to get some more use out of that punch. So now we can start layering up all of our pieces. So I've got a piece of our vellum cardstock here. I'm going to go ahead and add this piece on using some snail adhesive. And I'll just throw the snail down in the center. That should be good. And I'm going to put this at a little bit of an angle. Right about there looks good. Then I've got a piece of that Share What You Love Designer Series paper. Gorgeous paper. I love it. Just throw some snail down on here as well. And then we will add this on going the opposite direction. You can see those nice little leafy stamped images peeking through from behind. I love how that looks. Then you've got one of our pearlized doilies included in the kit. Love these. So I'm just going to put a little bit of snail across the center here and pop that doily down. So right about there looks good to me. Then you've got another little piece of that Share What You Love Designer Series paper, and this piece has some of that pearlized finish on top. It's so pretty. There you go. I think you can see it there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive, and we'll put this right across the center here. Okay, that looks good. Then I'll go ahead and also add some more adhesive. I've got the Rich Razzleberry Velvet Ribbon. I'm gonna add this. This is also featured in the suite. I'm gonna add this. Let me just angle this end. Angle this end. And I'll just put this in the center here. Right about there looks good. So cute. Okay, and I'm just adding dimensionals on the back of that sentiment, and I'm just putting 2 on the top and the bottom because I don't want them to sit on top of my velvet ribbon. So I've just got them on the top and the bottom, and then I'll just put this right over that. All that layering right there, that looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and give this a crease. And then lastly, to finish up this card, I'm just gonna bring in the Share What You Love Artisan Pearls. So the pearls will not be included in your kit. If you purchase the A Little More Please bundle or the Gotta Have It All bundle, the pearls are included in those bundles, but it's not gonna be included in your free project kit. So I'm just gonna go with this color right here, I think. And I'll put one here. I'm just gonna do 3 of these. One here, and then one more right over here. There we go. And of course I went ahead and added some color to my envelope, some stamping, and there is project number 1. All right, so I've got my pieces here for the second project. I'm just gonna take out my Grapefruit Grove card base. So that's our new in color. And then I'm gonna take out that piece of Whisper White. And I've got 2 pieces of scratch paper here because we're gonna be making our own background on this piece of Grapefruit Grove cardstock. So I'm just going to lay this on a piece of scratch paper, and then you're gonna wanna give your card base a crease at 4 1/4 inches, and then line up your piece of line up your piece of scratch paper on that fold once you score it or fold it at 4 1/4, which is just folding it in half. And I'm gonna bring in my Grapefruit Grove ink pad here. So this is the new redesigned ink pad case. So I'm just flipping it up like a makeup compact, opening that up. I'm gonna lay that right here. And then there's sort of this little watercolor splotch in the stamp set. I'm gonna use this to create my background. So I'm just going to start stamping this randomly all over my card base. And what I love about these new ink pads is that there's now a defoamer in the ink pads. So you don't get any more of that bubbling when you go to ink up your stamps. You get a nice, crisp, clean image every time. Love it. All right, so just a couple more of these. And I stamped some off the edge just for a more random look. I think that looks pretty good. All right, so our card base is ready, very cute. And actually I'm gonna leave in this piece of scratch paper, and I'm gonna bring in my piece of Whisper White. I'm also going to bring in my piercing mat. Got my Mint Macaron ink pad here. And then I've got that large sort of watercolor sploosh from the stamp set. And you can see this is the old ink pad design that's now retiring. And you see that bubbling there? That's what I'm talking about. The defoamer and the new ink pads, that doesn't happen. And you see the bubbling here on my stamp. You won't get that with the new redesigned ink pads because they've reformulated the ink. So that won't happen anymore. So that is very exciting. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stamp this, right about here. Okay. Perfect. Then I've got my Rich Razzleberry ink pad, and I'm gonna stamp the thank you sentiment. I'm just gonna put that in the center, right about here. Stamp that down. That looks good. And then I've got my banner triple punch. I'm just gonna put this in here and banner the ends. You could also use your scissors to do this if you don't have that punch. So we've got a piece of old olive cardstock. I'm just going to go ahead and flip this over, add some snail adhesive to the back. Okay, and I'm going to offset this in the center, right about there. Looks good to me. Then you've got more of that Share What You Love designer series paper. Love this paper. It is so pretty. Just add some more adhesive to the back of this and offset this going the opposite direction. And then you've got another piece. This is actually the opposite pattern of this piece of designer paper. So you're gonna take that, add some adhesive to the back of this, and then I'm just going to kind of angle this up right about there. Then you've got one of those pearlized doilies. You wanna cut this in half. You need half for this card, and then you need half for your bag. So just snip that right down the middle, just like so. So save that piece. Then I'm going to put a little bit of snail right here, and I am going to stick that doily right into, whoops. Well, I'm gonna stick it right in the adhesive this time. There we go. And a few dimensionals on the back of the sentiment. And now we can stick this down, and I'm going to put this, let's see, I'll do it at an angle going this direction, right about here, and just give that a press. And then to finish up this card, I'm going to bring back those artisan pearls, and I think I'm going to do, I think I'm gonna do this color this time. So I'll just put down a few of these. And one more right about there. Okay. All right, and that finishes up project number 2. And then I also went ahead and added some stamping to this envelope as well. So there we go. All right, so the third and final project in this free project kit is the bag. So you'll either receive in your free project kit this designer paper for your bag, you'll either receive this pattern, or you'll receive this pattern. Okay, so it'll be one or the other in your kit, but they're both gorgeous and they both feature that pearlized touch there on the designer paper. So in your project kit, the designer paper comes pre-scored for you, okay? But I thought I would go ahead for the video and just show you how I scored it in order to build this particular bag, just in case you're interested in knowing. So what you wanna do is you wanna cut your designer paper at 6 inches by 12 inches, so you can get 2 of these bags out of 1 sheet of 12 by 12 designer series paper, which is awesome. So take your cardstock. I'm using my Simply Scored scoring tool here. You want to put the 12-inch side at the top of your scoring board, and you want to score this 12-inch side at 4 1/4 inches, 5 3/4 inches, 10 inches, and 11 1/2 inches. Then you want to rotate it around, put the 6-inch side at the top, and you want to score one final time at 4 1/2 inches. Okay, so that's all the scoring. Pretty easy to make this bag. Okay, so once you've got all of your score lines, but like I said, if you're getting the free card kit, it's already scored for you. You just want to take your bone folder and just give a nice crease along all of those score lines. And you actually might recognize this bag. I featured it with my Oh So Eclectic project kit. It just looks a little bit different because I didn't pinch the sides, but it's the same bag. Okay. All right, so once you've got that done, what we're gonna do is take your scissors and you wanna snip up these score lines. So snip up to that 4.5 inch score mark that we made. For this little tab right here, we're actually going to snip up to that 4.5 inch mark, and then we're gonna cut this tab off. We don't need this little skinny piece. So cut that little skinny piece off, and then you want to angle this little side tab. So I'm just gonna angle that. I guess you don't have to angle that, I just like it angled. Okay, so there we go. So now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tabs along the bottom. So this is actually the bottom of your bag. All right, so on this skinny tab off to the side, I have gone ahead and added some tear and tape. You could also put some fast fuse. I would just recommend using a strong adhesive to assemble your bag. So I've got that tear and tape backing peeled off. I'm just gonna fold this flap over and then fold this side over, and those two edges are going to line up perfectly, and you can just adhere them down. So now you've got your bag adhered on that one flap. So what we're gonna do is now you've got this seam. You want this seam to go towards the back. So I'm gonna leave this at the back, and I'm gonna fold in this flap and this flap. I'm gonna fold down this flap, and then I want this one to come up so that this seam is at the back along with this seam. And I'm just gonna add some tear and tape along this flap. All right, so I've got my tear and tape on there, and I'm just gonna peel up those backings and fold this flap to the back, just like that. And then I'll just put my bone folder in here to help me make sure I've got that adhesive down really, really good. Got a nice bond. All right, so we've got our bag ready, and we can start doing some stamping. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring in this die cut piece of Whisper White. Got a scrap piece of paper here. Got my Rich Razzleberry ink pad. I'm gonna also bring in my Stampin' Up! Piercing mat. This just helps get a good image using photopolymer stamps. And I'm gonna stamp this floral image that you saw me using on my envelopes. I'm gonna ink that up, and I am going to stamp this on the left-hand side of my die cut circle. Just like that. Then I'm gonna bring in the filler image for this flower. I'm gonna stamp that off and then stamp it on top of each one of my flowers. I love this image for these flowers, so pretty. Has a nice watercolor look to it. Okay, there we go. Now I've got my Tranquil Tide ink pad, and I'm gonna stamp my sentiment in Tranquil Tide. So it's a beautiful day. I'm gonna ink that up. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and stamp that right about here. Ah, perfect. And on this bag, instead of doing Rich Razzleberry and Tranquil Tide, I actually stamped the flowers in Mint Macaron, and I stamped first in full strength, and then the filler image I stamped off, just like we did on the Rich Razzleberry, but I stamped off in Mint Macaron, and then I stamped the sentiment in Rich Razzleberry. And I'll just throw some snail on the back of this. I know I'm a little excessive with the snail. Then you've got a Tranquil Tide scalloped circle here. And I'm just gonna lay that right on top, give that a press, okay? Then I wanna add my half of a pearlized doily. I want that to be sort of like this, angled off to the left at the top. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of snail up here, and let's just angle that. see. I'm gonna get it in just the right spot. Okay, right there looks perfect. So just press that down. Alrighty, I got the backings off of my dimensionals, and I'll just go ahead and center this up onto the front of my bag. So right about there, give that a press. Alrighty, so I'll bring in my artisan pearls, and I think I'm gonna go for this yellowish color. I'm thinking this is so saffron, I'm not sure. I'm gonna go for this color, I think that'll look nice. I'll just pop a few of these pearls on here. Let's put one here, and then one more right about there. There we go. Okay, and there is the finished bag. Isn't that so pretty? This bag is gorgeous, you guys. I love it. So I'm just gonna do a little comparison of the two bags. I think they are both absolutely beautiful. I love them both. Love it. All right, so here are the 3 completed projects in the first free card kit featuring the Share What You Love suite. I hope that you guys have enjoyed these 3 projects. So you get one of each project included in your free project kit. I absolutely love how they turned out, and I hope that you do too. So remember, all you have to do to qualify to receive one of these free card kits in the mail from me is simply place a minimum $35 order in my online Stampin' Up! Store. You've got direct links to my online store just below the video in the description notes. You can also find links to my store over on today's coordinating blog post, which is also linked just below the video in the description notes. So that's $35 before tax and shipping. Make sure that you use the hostess code that's right here on the screen. That's how I know that you want to receive this free card kit in the mail from me. But just remember, if your order is $150 or more, do not use that hostess code. I want to make sure you qualify for your Stampin' rewards, and you will still receive this free project kit in the mail from me, so don't worry about that. So thanks again for joining me today. Remember, you can find all of the bundle options over on today's coordinating blog post as well. Get your Share What You Love bundle. They're only available during the month of May. So thanks again for joining me, and I will be back soon with another tutorial. Bye now.